All right, people. So I just want to talk about why I think it is better to be single, um, especially not really in maybe in general. I mean, everybody has their specific preferences and shit like that. But I mean, in my time in life right now, as a second year in college here, um, yeah, I just think it's better to be single, especially if you're in college and you're living a fairly busy life and shit like that. I mean, if you're in a relationship, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of energy, time, money, everything to that matter. And yeah, again, for some people, if it's worth it, then okay, it's worth it. But I mean, it's just a lot to put into it. And what do you get out of it? Somebody who you're probably not going to be with in the next couple of years. I mean, that's just a fact of the matter. I mean, even most marriages now or at least half of marriages now are ending in divorce. So what does that tell you about relationships? Most relationships are going to end. They're not going to be successful. So is it really worth it in college for you to invest all this time, energy, and money into something that probably isn't going to work out? I'd rather just be single, have some freedom, and it's nice having freedom. And I'm not talking freedom in sexuality freedom. I'm talking just freedom in, okay, you get home from work at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or you get home from school, and you want to take a nap, or you just want to hang out by yourself and relax, or you don't want to be with anybody else. Oh, but if you have a girlfriend and she calls you up, what are you gonna tell her? Are you going to tell her, oh, I just want to take a nap, I want to be by myself? No, you're not. I mean, if your girlfriend calls you up and says you want to hang out right now and you're not doing anything, you kind of have to, or else she's going to be pissed, probably. So you have to have a commitment, and that's not only money commitment, but that is also time commitment. And if you have a job, if you have to work, if you're playing sports, I mean, this is all shit that's going to, it's going to make your life busy. And sometimes it's better just to focus on more important things. I mean, college is very important. Getting a job is very important. So sometimes it's more important to focus on those things than a relationship. And like I said, not having a relationship gives you more freedom to be able to balance your priorities, or your, not even priorities, but your just wants in life. Your wants to, watch TV, or watch a movie, or play video games, or whatever, just to hang out, take a nap. And you could also hang out with more people too. I mean, if you have a girlfriend, I mean, you're not really going to hang out with other girls one-on-one. I mean, it's something that, I mean, I guess you could do that, but I mean, it's kind of that'd be kind of weird in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It just seems. I mean, if you've had a really good friend for like 10 years, okay. But I mean, you're not just going to meet new people and hang out with them, or go to the movies with just as friends. If you have a girlfriend, I mean, that's kind of strange in my opinion to be doing that. Because I mean, I believe that, and this is kind of scientifically proven. But guys think of girls in sexual terms. I mean, we really do. I mean, just about every guy does. They think of women. When they look at a woman, they could be a complete stranger, or they could be somebody they've known. I mean, you pretty much look at their attractiveness. What are they wearing? Do they have a nice ass? Do they have nice boobs? Do they have an attractive face? Are they fat? Are they normal weight? Are they skinny? Do I find this person attractive? Would I have sex with them? I mean, that's pretty much what goes through a guy's head, the moment he looks at a girl, especially a girl who's his age or around his age. Obviously, if we're looking at an elderly person, we're probably not thinking that. I mean, I guess some guys might be into that shit, but not me. So that's pretty much what goes through a guy's head. They check out what they're wearing, whatever the fuck. I mean, it's just how guys are built. I mean, and a lot of women say, oh, guys are terrible men. Men are terrible. They care about sex too much. But I mean, it's really how men are just made. I mean, that's how all men are. So I mean, it's hard to it's hard to not be like that when That's how men are. I mean, if you're not like that, you're pretty much going against how most men are built and how men are made to be. I mean, it's a natural reaction, kind of. And again, it's how all men are, kind of. So I mean, it's and women are different. They're just different. They look for different things in men, and that's how it's just how, you know, if it's just how the genders are built there. So, but I mean, what are we looking for in relationships? What are we, you know, why do we get them? I think, you know, when you go to the male side of it, males want, I think a lot of them just want sex, to be quite honest. And like I said, you know, you could like sex. I mean, a lot of guys, like I said, you know, it's hard to resist the temptation of being a sexual person, thinking about it. If you're a guy, I mean, it's something that a lot of guys do. But at the same time, you know, you have to also care for people. You have to do things that don't involve sex. It can't just all be about sex. I mean, if you have a girlfriend, you have to do more than just have sex and do sexual things. I mean, it's just a fact of the matter. You gotta, you know, comfort them and just talk about shit and, you know, do normal things together. I mean, I think most couples do have sexual relations, but you have to do way more than that to have a good, healthy relationship, in my opinion. But I mean, yeah, why do guys have sex, or guys have relationships? Like I said, I think for guys, if guys would not be able to have sex in a relationship, a lot of guys would say, okay, no, I'm not going to be in that relationship anymore. I think sex for guys is an important part. While if you look at women, it's not as important, I don't think. You know, guys, I think they like sex. That's probably one of the main motives. And also, to, you know, if you look at the women's side, they kind of want a guy there to comfort them, to be there, to grow a family with, to provide for them. That's what women are looking for. When men are kind of looking, you know, I want to date the most attractive girl, which again, it's kind of how men are built. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship, you also want a girl who is nice and friendly and generous and kind, and who you like as a person. But you also, you know, you can't also date a girl who you think is ugly. Like for me, I find fat girls ugly, and I could never, you know, marry. I'm just sorry. It's just I cannot envision myself with a girl who is grossly overweight, because I just don't. I think that's very unattractive. You know, I cannot imagine myself even doing, you know, kissing. I mean, it's just gross in my opinion. I mean, it just disgusts me. You know, being grossly. I mean, I could understand a couple pounds overweight, you know, but when you get into the morbidly obese and the, you know, obese, very obese category, it becomes gross. So yeah, I mean, so we all have different motives for relationships, but I mean, if you don't have a relationship, you could still achieve those motives, you know, those things. And I'm kind of talking from a guy's perspective here. And you know, I don't think having a girlfriend is that important. And you know, again, the big motive, I guess, is kind of the sex. It's all about the sex. I disagree. You know, I don't think it's all about the sex. You know, you don't really have to have 24/7 sex with a girl. I don't really see. I don't get that really that jealous of people who have girlfriends and brag. That's another thing I hate. People who just brag about their girlfriends and post them on social media, or their boyfriends and post them on social media 24/7. I don't really get jealous about that, because you know, you don't have to be in a relationship to have sex, or, you know, to relieve your sexual desires, because like I said, all men really have desires to have sex or do something sexual or whatever the fuck. I mean, but I don't think sex is that important, because I made a video talking about how 33%, you know, I think it's 35% of teens get pregnant. Now, you don't want to be one of those guys that gets a girl pregnant. So I would really stay away from sex. And if you're going to do it, obviously use a lot of birth control. Multiple forms would be ideal. But yeah, I just been a guy who's been, you know, staying away from actual, you know, sex, because of the dangers it presents. getting girls pregnant. I mean, I don't want to get a girl pregnant. I mean, I'm just talking real here. We're having a mature discussion here. I'd rather do lesser things than actual sex, because like I said, of the dangers of getting a girl pregnant, and I just believe other things are, just more enjoyable too. It's easier to connect with people if you're doing, just simpler things like, oh, we're gonna cuddle, or we're gonna make out, or just shit like that. I believe it's a better connection than actual just gonna have sex and that's it. I mean, there's more to life than just having sex. So I don't think that's that important. I think sex is very overrated. And then the other thing comes down, oh, I'm lonely. You're lonely. You want somebody there for you. Well, like I said, in my point in life, if you're young, even if you're in your early 20s or you're in your teens, you still have a lot of time in life to find a person to be with. You don't have to be with somebody right now. I mean, like I said, most relationships end anyway, so you're probably going to start from ground zero sooner or later. That's just, again, the fact of the matter. And it's not a bad thing to be lonely or to be alone, a lot. Because, like I said, if you're alone, you could do your own shit. You could do your own thing. And you could also have friends, too, to hang out with and do shit with. And, like I said, if you have a girlfriend, that's really going to limit your ability to hang out with friends and other people and to expand your horizons. So, that's not really a big concern, being alone. Because having friends also comes along, there's also shit that comes along with that too. Again, you got to hang out with friends, you got to text friends, you got to do shit. That also takes some time, commitment, and money. Not as much as a girlfriend, but I mean, it does take some. So I mean, there are some benefits. I always hear people, oh, I'm all lonely, I'm lonely. It's not really a bad thing to be lonely, really. I get that you want friends, but I mean, you don't really need, in my opinion, too many friends. You don't need to hang out with people 24/7, because I mean, you should be your best friend, meaning that you should like, doing shit on your own, where you could do your own shit and hang out by yourself and do whatever the hell you want. I mean, it's quite enjoyable to me sometimes to do what I want. So there you go, people. I mean, there's kind of just a summary there on relationships in my view. Like I said, I'm single right now and I'm happy. I mean, I really enjoy the freedom to do what I want, and also too, like I said, when I said freedom, I wasn't talking mainly about sexual freedom, but you do have sexual freedom if you want to have. Obviously, if you're in a relationship, you have to be exclusive to that girl, or at least you should be, or else you're a douchebag. But if you're not in a relationship, you could have sex with as many girls as you want if you want to do that. Or you could, make out with as many girls as you want if you want to do that, without feeling any guilt whatsoever. You're not cheating. So guilt-free. You have the preference to do whatever you want sexually with your body. I mean, if you whatever you want to do. I mean, it's up to you. And I mean, I would even feel bad about, checking out girls if I'm in a relationship. Like, oh, look at that girl, she has a nice ass, but I have a girlfriend. That's kind of wrong. I know a lot of people do that. Like, even my boss, he's been married like 25 years or some shit like that. He's still, we'll be driving together because I do landscaping, whatever. So we'll be driving together, and he's like, look at that blonde, look at that ass right there. I'm like, yeah, it's nice, that, whatever. So, I mean, married people still do that shit, but I don't know, it just feels kind of wrong to be, like, fantasizing about girls, even if you're in a relationship. But, I mean, it's not obviously nowhere near the cheating, but, I mean, I just feel like if I was in a relationship, I would feel the need to kind of be a perfectionist with that shit, and, not even check out girls' butts or boobs or whatever the fuck, but that's another good thing about being single. That you cannot cheat on anybody, so you could do whatever you want sexually with your body. You could whatever the fuck. So there you go, people. I think I've talked enough about this subject. So there you go, people. There's my thoughts there on being single and why it has many advantages over being in a relationship, especially at the point in your life if you're in college, have a lot of responsibilities, and also have the opportunity to do other shit than just hang out with your girlfriend and be in a relationship. So there you go, people.